what I want to know, since we're talking about kicks and things like that, is your first love, man. Ooh. I mean, you grew up in a really awesome era, like the 80s and the 90s. So I'm really interested to know what that first love was that really got you in the shoe game.
Yeah. Well, it had to be when I could afford for myself to buy a pair of Jordans.
Ooh. So you saved up, you waited.
Yeah, I had to.
Okay.
I mean, my mother wasn't going to do it. Mm-hmm. And shit, in 99, there's 99 with the re-release?
Re-release of
the bread from 80.
The Air Jordan 4 bread.
Yeah.
We had behind the scenes conversations. They came out in 89.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. But the first retro was 1999.
So I would have been in that, I would have been 20, I was in my 20s, 23 maybe?
Guys, sorry for the interruption, but I swear this is going to be a good one. I'm excited to share with you an awesome deal exclusively from Reshoevn8r.com. Check this out.
We partnered with Reshoevn8r to give you 20% off all things Reshoevn8r, the #1 sneaker cleaning solution product and system in the world. All you have to do is go to checkout, type in Kickstory Podcast 20 to get your 20% off.
And Reshoevn8r has you covered from stain repellents, shoe wipes, midsole cleaners, and their signature shoe cleaning kit that has the solutions, all the brushes, and the shoe trees there to keep your kicks looking awesome.
That's it. Stay fresh to death with your sneakers while saving some money. Once again, just go to Reshoevn8r.com, type in Kickstory Podcast 20, take advantage of that 20% off.
Now, back to the show.
Yeah, it was like 23.
So 89, OG. So let's go back to 89. What was those sneakers like in Southside, Jamaica, Queens? What was the Air Jordan 4 and in particular the black and red, right? And
yeah, that was a drug dealer shoe.
You gotta show us. You gotta show us.
So that's your first love. That's the shoe.
This is the shoe. This is the shoe. Listen, you was on the corner, and you had this shoe on. For sure, you had this shoe.
So you saw that shoe on the streets. You didn't see it on the court. You didn't see it. You saw it first. In person,
on the corner.
Yeah.
And I remember when they came out in 89.
Yep.
Yeah.
They was $100.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just no way in hell.
Right.
None.
Right.
I mean, I think back then, my mom bought me a bike, a regular. I don't even know, a regular mountain bike from Huffy probably.
Yeah.
Toys R Us. I think that was like $80. You know what I'm saying? That was a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
That wasn't like a regular gift. Like that, it had to be a big thing. Like $100 for a pair of shoes.
I know, it's crazy.
Right. So when 99 came out,
then I had my own bread.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I had to go get them, and I walked inside the store and bought them here in Phoenix.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is the shoe.
So you saw them in 89. You fell in love with them. You were patient. You waited 10 years? 10 years to finally get them.
Only 10 years.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, 89, 99, that's only 10 years. It feels like 20, but it's only like 10 years apart.
Right.
Yep,
wow.
10 years.
So and that particular colorway, not the white and cement.
Nope.
Yeah, that particular colorway.
Dude, I'm counting how many people have looked at the Jordan 4 as their first love. It's crazy.
This was it, man.
Yeah.
Like this was like a spaceship shoe for real.
It has a lot of stuff going on for sure. Yeah.
It's got depth.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So the depth of the shoe, the Nike, like it was just, this is what you wanted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I always talk to Bobby about this, and you could probably relate. In New York specifically, and let's go back to 89, it was an energy about when those came out. It was an energy, especially like the drug dealers, things of that nature. They had the Jordan suit.
Yeah.
The flight, the Air
flight
Jordan,
suit.
the flight suit.
Oh yeah, I
love those flight suit. Like that sneaker, like the threes were energy, but when that thing came out, it was a little different.
This is like, I want to say I seen what's the name on the Abbey with these on Rob Bass.
Damn.
Like this was a shoe.
I want to rock right.
Yeah, this is a shoe, man. Like this was, you couldn't get away from this one.
Right.
Like this is I think everybody in New York has had this at some point.
Right.
And from that era, everybody's had this shoe as well.
Right.
So let me ask you, were you a Jordan fan? Were you like Chicago Bulls? What was your team? Nah? What was
Chicago Bulls, not at all. I was a Knicks fan.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, no. Death to the Bulls. Shoot, I'm pissed about this year with what Indiana did.
Oh, yeah. It was a great playoffs, but it was hard to see New York.
Yeah, 25 years ago, I watched that game.
Reggie Miller.
To watch it again.
That's true.
Halliburton do it again. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah. How'd that happen?
That's a fun rivalry, the New York, Chicago Bulls. But in 89, too, it's funny because every New York fan that I've talked to still loves Jordan shoes, even though, it's like one of those.
See, here's the thing.
Yeah.
We don't discriminate nobody. We'll buy a hat, San Diego hat, just for the colors.
100%.
Got it.
And rock the San Diego hat if it has the right color for
And
it.
never been in San Diego.
It's all about the
Still
fashion.
don't give a shit about the Padres. Like, we don't discriminate about that, right?
Okay.
We don't care. If you got something fly, we gonna put it on.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
you know,
Got it.
I know people. I would never. Somebody asked me, "You from here?" I'm like, nah, it's just a hat. I had on
Diamondbacks?
a Venom hat. It was FAMU. I had a FAMU hat on. Somebody like, you ain't the FAMU? I was like, nah, I seen the hat in Boston. I thought it was fly, so I just bought it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's funny.
Yep. You mentioned that. I see some kicks behind you, and it looks like a top 5 because I see 5 kicks there. So would you see those Jordan 4s are number 1?
Number one.
That's the number one. Okay.
What's your number 2?
Number 2, I'd have to go to. I don't get to wear these much, but
Classics, yeah.
but the butters, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shoe right here is, soon as it turn cold, soon as the fall hit, this shoe's coming out, and this is what and it's either this shoe for me, and I don't have a beef and broccoli at the crib right now. It's a Gore-Tex. Actually, you know what? I do have a pair of Gore-Tex, but the beef and broccolis.
Explain to me beef and broccoli, right?
They're called Timberland field boots.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the correct name, but they had various colors. And the outside was brown, the inside was green. We'll show some.
I see it now. I see
Field boot.
Yeah.
But let's be very specific about that, okay? New Yorkers. Number 1, it's that boot, Butters, Constructs, you got to understand that you have to have a top leather. The top has to be leather.
that padding.
The sole has to be double soles. You can't
Yes.
have one thick sole.
Nope. You gotta have a bubblegum bottom.
You can't have a pure base.
Yeah.
That's a specific Timberland that you have to rock.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It's not comfortable in the wintertime. You can't wear those in the wintertime. It's cold. You rock those in a fall.
Yes.
You don't go in the snow with them.
No. These are just for looks.
Yeah.
Right?
It's chilling.
And they heavy as fuck.
Heavy.
They not as comfortable as people think. Like these,
They just look damn good, huh?
they look with a baggy pair of jeans, blue jeans. Shit,
Chris
stacked. Yeah, you going off with a pair of these.
100%. 100%.
I remember when I was a store manager for a shoe store, Journeys, and we used to have these in stock. Man, they used to sell out quick.
Oh yeah.
And yeah. Honestly, yeah. I mean, we had this model, the classics,
Right.
And we had the women's ones. They had the heels when J-Lo was like,
man.
during that era. That was like 2000.
No LeBlanc.
Yeah. So we had that era. We had the different style and stuff like that. But I mean, the depth that I'm learning to, with New York is really, really fascinating. Just like that whole side.
Everybody's infatuated with our culture. So if we wearing these on the East Coast and you seeing it in videos, and on the West Coast, they're emulating what we're doing on the East Coast. So
True.
That makes sense for me for these to sell out here
Yeah.
in Journeys.
Yeah.
They trying to see
Music videos, you see them all day long. We
in New York shit.
I was the one at Christown.
Yes.
I was a manager for there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was there. So I was close to you,
That
around.
right there is like you wear that Constructs Butters or you wear some Uptowns.
Yeah.
That was your pick.
Yeah.
Pick your
That-
poison.
yeah.
Pick your poison.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because every borough wearing all whites.
Yeah, every borough. It doesn't matter.
That's universal.
Universal. Universal. See, if you go to Brooklyn, they wear polo.
I told you about low lives.
They wear a polo for sure.
100%.
They want the bear. They want
To the polo bit. So much we had a gang.
they wanted
The
the
gang low lives.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
They were,
it revolves around.
He from Queens, Carhartt.
yeah.
If you from Uptown, you getting Pele Pele jackets.
There was a time in Queens we was fucking with Tommy Hilfiger.
Tommy Hilfiger.
Tommy is cool. Yeah, that's one.
Came around, the colorful shirts.
That
and-
Tommy Racing.
Yeah.
That's one brand and styling that I saw a lot in the late '90s here growing up. There's a Tommy
Hilfiger?
I love Tommy. I still have some
It was
vintage
in Dillard's.
Tommys.
They sold it in Dillard's.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so cool, that color combination, the yellow and then the red and blue.
Yep.
That color combination was so refreshing for me to see because I didn't really see that. And I was like, man, I remember buying a couple of pieces and they were expensive, but like just to have them and like have a nice little fleece, like a zip up,
Yep.
quarter zip up with the nice little, heel figure. It just looked clean, man. Like,
You're like this. I used to go with my brother. E, what up, E? I used to go with my brother. We used to go to Queens Center Mall, Macy's.
Yeah.
Queens Center, right next to the left rack.
Yep. I know exactly where that's at.
Yeah,
So
see that Queen City.
I know exactly where that's
See the
at.
Queen
That's right off
Center.
that's right off the freeway right there.
100%.
Yeah.
100%, and get the Tommy.
Yep.
And you know, people will rob you for some Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy
Oh, yeah.
racing, the Formula
Oh, yeah.
One,
And the sailing. The sailing is really cool. The big jackets. Yeah.
Yeah, that was tough.
We almost forgot Nautica.
Nautica.
Yep.
Nautica was, yeah. Nautica was, yeah, Nautica. I used to go to Woodbury Common.
Woodbury Con.
Go to the Nautica.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we got Butters.
Number two.
Number two.
Classics.
Number three.
I'm gonna take it back. I know a lot of people don't know Diodora. There's not a lot of
I'm familiar. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is I don't remember what country they're from.
Italy.
Italy?
Am I correct in saying that, Bobby?
I want to say so. I know this
Don't quote me on
brand.
that.
This brand was very popular. I'm familiar with Deodores because they were very popular in Mexico City.
Okay.
That's where my family's from.
I could have sworn that they had the red, white, and green flag.
Yes.
They might be familiar. I'm not 100% sure.
that,
But
but
I'm pretty sure.
this definitely was an attainable shoe when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Deodoras weren't expensive.
Right.
But they were also, you would see them everywhere. People was rocking them.
Right.
So that people was fucking with them. So, it wasn't expensive, but they were still a fly shoe.
It was.
Right.
You know?
Doris.
The runner, like the track suits, the runner style shoes, that whole fit was really, really cool. And like I said, I'm familiar with them because I saw a lot of them in the late 90s in Mexico City.
Right.
And I saw the track suits. I never knew what the brand was, but I was like, hey, that's unique.
What's
Yeah.
sad to say is from my fashion growing up was really drilled by drug dealers. That's really where like a lot of the fashion
You got exposure to that, yeah.
rappers. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's where we got fashion from, and that's where a lot of these brands jumped on because
True.
you go back to the old videos, there was a lot of branding back then.
Yeah.
If you pay attention,
Oh, yeah.
80s and the 90s, there was
yeah.
branding. It was there. They weren't paying
Right.
like they paying now.
True,
Right.
It was giving this shit away, like, yo, wear this shit in the video. We were like,
yeah.
so happy to just have some shit.
Exactly.
Wear this shit in the
You're
video.
right.
Right.
You're
Not
right.
knowing that you selling this shit around the world.
It's a commercial, yeah,
It's a
pretty
fucking
much.
commercial. You
Yeah.
put this in your video, motherfuckers all say, Salt and Pepper got this Gucci film, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got
April Jacket.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that's where Virgil really tapped in.
100%.
Yeah,
Did
that's
tap
true.
into that.
Yeah.
Virgil tapped into that crossover market.
100%.
Yeah.
We showcased it, but we didn't know how to brand it.
No,
We didn't know how to do, and those labels weren't letting us in.
no, Virgil killed it.
Virgil
killed
rest in peace, Virgil.
Yeah,
Virgil
Virgil killed it.
100%. 100%.
He opened up the door for what was happening now, for a lot of what's happening going on right now.
Right.
You know, it's not stuck. In the way he opened up the door, it's not stuck with any one person.
Right.
There's so many people at the wheel, and I
Right.
love that.
Yeah, that's true. That's
You know
true.
what I'm
It
saying?
definitely opened up the doors.
It's like
sure.
it's like no longer this torch being passed.
Right.
You don't got to pass a torch.
Yeah.
You can make your own torch.
Right.
Yeah.
Do your own thing. Make your own lane.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I like the brand Cortez out of London. I love what he's doing. I love what he's doing, bro. He's doing dope shit. Yeah.
Collabs,
Oh
though,
yeah.
even this little like Navy ship icon.
No, he's doing. I love it.
Yeah, it's dope. Dope.
And
Yeah.
and what I love about it so much is that London is people, the city, the country is behind him.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And then if more people would do that here, more brands would be bigger.
100%. 100%.
The big brands are already big brands.
That's interesting that you say that because with Cortez or Cortez, they really, like you said, they really have a movement behind it so strong that when they come here and do drops,
Sell out.
it's
Quick.
sell out crazy.
10 seconds. It's over.
You know, the last drop they did was where I'm from, Bed-Stuy. They went to Bed-Stuy. They went to Tom, Dick, and Harry's. That's a store where Jay-Z's from, Marcy, Brooklyn. What up? And they did a drop for the black and yellow Air Max 95.
Oh, that's right. That's
At
right.
a local store.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
That's
yo,
cool. I like that. I like that they did that.
Yeah, no, so super dope. Like,
Come on,
in
man.
he back in the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bringing shit back to the streets.
Back to the street.
That's
Yes,
cool.
Sir.
That's
Yes,
what made
sir.
this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All the sneakers, all this thing is all about back to the streets.
Back to the
And you notice, in my opinion, the reason why he did that is because, in a way, he's inspired by what was going on back in the 80s and 90s, like what you described.
Yeah.
You know, you go into the local shop where you get the whole experience at one place. When you go, you know, that culture is being retroed. You know, on that end, but you've already known that. You're doing that, you know, so that's kind
I
of
almost
cool.
forgot. I left the shoe out, and I don't even know how I was going to leave the shoe out, but the 9.5 neon, that motherfucking shoe. That motherfucking shoe. Now, we talking about, you brought up the 9.5, and that shit just sparked it in my brain, like, oh, yeah. The neon gray. Oh, that shoe.
with some gray Nautica sweats.
Yes, that was that. That deserves
Oh, yeah.
mention. That shoe that's an iconic.
Is that part of your list?
That is absolutely part of.
Okay, what number is that?
That would have.
That's between 1 and 2 now.
That's if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
That might be number 2.
Oh, okay.
That be and I might have pushed the Buddy at 3 because that shoe right there.
Yeah, it is. It's an awesome shoe.
That
Here's
9.5.
the thing: that particular color.
That neon color.
That neon bubble.
Yes.
It just looks super cool.
That
Yeah.
particular shoe.
That part,
Very cool.
It made some dope OG, but that neon, great
one.
you.
I still don't have a pair.
I love what Cortez did when
Yeah, that's a nice
I had
model.
a lot of appreciation for what he did. I had to go out and buy that shoe
Yeah.
Awesome.
because it didn't drop nowhere here. So I went out and I just caught one. I had
Yeah.
to caught one because that's it.
So it looks like your order is a little messed up now. So we got so this is like a number 3.
That's yeah.
Let's say that's still number 3, but we got the neons in there. Too.
Neon, I had to mention.
Okay.
You mentioned the 9.5. I had to.
That's a good point.
So can we do 2 number 2s?
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah.
So we do two
Yeah.
number 2s.
So that way we don't mess with the order.
And this is number 3.
Diodoras.
So
4.
So number 4, I gotta keep it. I gotta keep it. You know,
New Balance.
The 993s. You know,
Yeah.
these. You know, New Balance has always been comfortable.
Yeah.
Always been a classic shoe.
Those are 998s. So that's specific 998?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's so crazy how they just blew up, man. Like the New Balance, like just
New
era.
Balance has been popular for a long time. It just caught on to the world.
True. That's what I'm noticing.
The 574s. We've been rocking 574s since like the 80s.
Forever. New
Sure,
York,
sure, yeah.
New
That's a
York,
classic model.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
have been on New Balance
Yeah.
since the 80s, Bobby.
Comfort. You gotta think about it. All these shoes were easy to be on. We was outside kids.
Yep.
So if you was gonna be outside all day, you wanted to be something on your feet, comfortable that you can move around in. So
100%.
New Balance was if you knew you was gonna be in the streets all day, bike riding, whatever, you wanted to have New Balance.
Comfortable shoe.
The shoe that comes to mind when you're describing that in that silhouette is Saucony's. For me,
We wore those too.
Yeah.
We wore those too.
for me, the way you described this is the way I think of
You
Saucony's.
said it wrong though.
We say Saucony.
Saucony's or Saucony's, yeah.
I think Saucony is the official name.
My good friend,
I don't know no other name, but Saucony.
yeah, my good friend used to call them Saucony's, and then years later, I was like, I heard someone else say Saucony's, like, is it Saucony's, Saucony's? I don't know.
right.
So I was like,
It's definitely Saucony.
Yeah.
New York just gave the shoe its own name.
yeah. But no, that's a great model, man. I just remember seeing New Balance, growing up in Montgomery wards.
Oh, yeah.
Those type of stores. But now it's like you got like major collabs, man. Like I saw some really cool ones with like the fuzzy suede. What is that?
Nubuck, right? No, that's Nubuck.
It's like really fuzzy. Yeah. But what's that collab? I don't know what collab it is, but
you talking about the New Balance, the protection packs.
yeah.
Protection packs.
I'm just seeing like some really cool combinations, great like materials. That's one thing I appreciate about New Balance. They're putting in some premium
Never
materials.
skimped on material.
Yeah.
So that suede that's from the 80s and 90s is still present today.
Very nappy.
And like you said, you're not going to find no sneaker more comfortable.
Nah,
Very, very cool.
And I had to just make mention of
Round it off.
all these hype beasts
Right.
of
Yeah.
SBs.
Right.
I'm a skateboarder, you know, and former BMX, but I skateboarded.
Right.
And I bought these at the Nike outlet for $35.
What are we looking at here? What is this?
Crazy.
This is an SB. It's Central Park, the NYC Park edition.
Okay.
I had these.
Yeah, you said for $30. Those go for like $1,200, $1,000.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. You got it for $30.
Bought them at the outlet. No box, no nothing.
What year was that?
This had to be in the early 2000s. Like this is 2000. I think these came out in 2003.
Wow.
Probably.
This has some years to it.
2008.
Are these considered vintage now?
Yeah.
I guess so, right?
It's an SB Fat Tongue. I mean, that's the sought after shoe.
Wow.
So to get those for $36.
I had them in my garage. They was in my garage before I had them restored. They had been there for at least a couple years.
That's crazy.
Good quality. If you had them all this years, and their skate shoes, I imagine they're going to have the premium durable materials, right?
Yeah.
That's a rare one. Cool. You gave us your top 5, top 6,
Okay.
right? But we're gonna throw 9.5s in there because that's that.
The neons.
There's no arguments there, right?
Yep.
But before we wrap this up, like talk to us about the store. Like I'm a person from out of town. I'm visiting Phoenix. What is my experience on one?
So when you come in, the first thing, if you haven't been here before, I'm just going to give you the rundown.
Right.
So I go back. We have vintage in the back, the big rack in the back, and everything to the right is all vintage. The left wall is all streetwear, starting with like Supreme, Babe, Warren, Lotus. The center of the store, we got all designer shoewear bottoms. It's all wrapped around high-end vintage on the walls and sneakers and high-end bags behind the counter. We got some, I guess you would call the hype beast shoes and stuff in the glass cases. You know, it's all just sneakers to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We put them in a special place, but I wear them like they're not special. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then we have a designer section that has bags and all designer tops. And we carry everything. So we even carry archive, which if a lot of people don't know what archive is, it's Japanese clothing.
Right.
So we carry stuff that you normally will only see online.
Oh, wow.
Carry in store. Or Capital, Number 9, or those type of brands. And so, you know, we really give the person who's really deep into fashion, who's looking at all these brands and researching brands, because there's a lot of fashion is online.
True.
And they see a lot of stuff that they like, but again, the sizing is crazy. You don't know what you're buying. So it's nice to be able to have a store to actually have some of the stuff that you see online.
That is very true.
Come in and touch it and feel it and even see if you even like it for real.
You have a fitting room.
Yeah, we have a fitting room. Come in and try it on. I don't want you to come here and buy nothing without trying it on. I want you to love what you buy. I want you to leave out of here feeling confident in your purchase.
That's good.
I don't want to have an argument with you when you come back because you didn't wear it. You know, because it didn't fit. It was the wrong size.
Right.
I know stores that sell shoes and they don't let you try them on. How am I supposed to know if it's my right size?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
Man. That's crazy.
You want me to spend $700 on a shoe and I can't try it on?
Right.
I've had a dude, I'm not going to mention those stores, but I had a dude come in and trade me a pair of shoes and lose a shit ton of money on a shoe that he bought from another store because it didn't fit.
Wow. That's rare. I never knew that other places like that would
There's a lot of stores that,
High-end sneakers.
they're not, because they don't want you, if you end up not buying it,
Yeah,
right?
true. I can see that.
Is it actually brand new anymore? Because
Right.
someone put their foot in it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they just looked in the mirror, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still brand new. No one walked outside. No one took it home and then brought it back and then they went out in it. But people have their things. And for me, I want everybody to be happy when they leave
good.
here.
That's a dope experience.
One thing that caught my eye in your display case right by the register are your bibbies.
Oh, yeah.
Man, tell me about those, man. Like, how'd that work out? Yeah.
We got them from a private collector.
Awesome.
Somebody came in and was like, hey, I got this. And they were like, I want to unload them all. You know, you can't come and pick through what you want. It's either this, all or nothing. So we went in and made a deal and we brought him in.
Right.
And I mean, he's a hometown hero. You know what I'm saying? And big ups to Mike. You know,
Mike.
that's family. You know,
Awesome.
he's out of Sac State right now doing his thing.
That's
He
right.
got the head coaching job, so he's
Yes.
doing his stuff thizzle out there. I'm so happy and proud for him. They've been blocking his shine for a long time, so I'm happy.
Very
that
talented, yeah.
You know, I'm glad that he's back. He's back on it because he's a brilliant basketball mind.
Yes.
Yep.
Brilliant basketball mind.
Yep.
But
Yep.
again, the store is just eclectic.
Yes.
You know,
That's a good word.
eclectic group
Yeah.
of stuff. Like we just sell. I mean, we sell sunglasses. We got the Pharrell Chanel sunglasses. In here.
Right. I saw those. Yeah, those are cool looking. Yeah.
NBA Louis Virgil collab sunglasses. Like little bit of everything. No matter what fashion, no matter what you like, no matter what brands you like, we have them.
Right.
And if there's a brand that's trending or something that people like, we'll pay attention. We're not we're not pompous to be like, oh no, we ain't never heard it. If it's fly, I want it.
Right.
Give a fuck what brand it is.
Right.
If you got some fly shit and it's not $1 million, so you know what I'm saying? Like, bring it in here. I want.
cool.
If I think I can sell it, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
Talk to me about this hallway. You have this hallway that's like, I see Brooklyn, New York City, I see Subway, then I see little rooms inside it. What's that hallway about?
So I got a salon boutique in the building. So I have my wife, my daughter, both estheticians, full body waxers. I have Carlos. He's a makeup artist. So a little bit, we were supposed to have more rooms for more people, but we grew so much. I have a showroom where I have higher end pieces, and I just don't.
Showroom.
I have a showroom. I do have.
So these high end pieces is out here.
Get higher.
It gets
Getting higher.
It gets even higher.
That's real.
It gets higher. So it's just
there's
pieces. It's just pieces that I don't want finger fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want a $5,000 Louis Vuitton jacket being, varsity jacket being touched by
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
people coming in that have no interest in actually buying the jacket because I'm going to devalutize it if it doesn't look pristine.
Right.
So I got to keep some of my products safe.
So you actually cater to private shoppers.
Absolutely.
You want to basically become like their stylist. In other words, right?
I live 5 minutes away. If I know you and you DM me, or if you know me, you got my phone number.
Right.
I don't do the whole Instagram thing.
Right.
I'll pull up at midnight if you're trying to shop. We're open every day. We don't close Christmas. We don't close New Year's Day.
Oh, wow.
That's okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying?
But for those last minute shoppers, they can come here then.
We open.
Cool.
We stay open. We like to be open. We take odd days off like Father's Day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we take them days off so my daughters could spend time with me.
Right.
But other than that, we open. 365, 360, 364, whatever it is, we open.
Yeah.
You know, we like, for me,
That's different.
Shopping's impulsive. So when you impulsively want to spend your money, I'm gonna impulsively be available for you to sit in.
That's cool. Yeah, it's a New York way, right? That's fun. Yeah, that's fun.
Cool. And one more thing I wanna recognize you for. Salute to you bringing your family in here, man.
Yeah.
You know, like you mentioned your daughters several times. You mentioned your wife. Like it's a collective, right? And you leading by example, but you also showing them business. So gotta commend you and salute you on that.
I'm a hustler, and it's born in me. So I had to, and I could, with my family lineage, you know what I'm saying? I could, my family back to South Carolina, I could date us to where the lines and where people go. Like my cousin's Kim Whitley, the comedian. You know what I'm saying? So like, I know my lineage. I know I come from greatness. So I'm instilling in my children. I'm not leaving a legacy of money behind. I want to leave a legacy of understanding how to make this money, because you can lose the money, but
Right.
can you go and go get it back?
Wow.
Right? I've been to the top, been back to the bottom, been back to the top. And so every time I got to the top and I went back down, I went higher. And this is all in the same progression. So every time I got to the top and went back down, it was almost like I studied this thing called the Elliott wave. It's a strategy for the stock market,
Okay.
trading commodities and forecasting, and that's been my life. The Elliott wave of just these 1, 2, 3, and I jump on and I just soar right now.
Wow.
I'm soaring, and I'm showing my kids that.
Love that.
And it's hard for them to receive, because their lives haven't been my life, right? They didn't have to figure out stuff. I've been having kids since I was young. My oldest is 35. I'm 49. So I'm a young dad and I'm a young man that didn't have a choice in how to take care of who I had to take care of. I had to do whatever I had to do.
Right.
So now that I'm able to put them on a platform, on a stage, it is frightening, because I look at myself and I can see how I could be intimidating to my kids and going, damn, my dad's kind of that. And
Yeah.
how do I match up to that? But you don't have to match up. Just get the information and figure out how to navigate it for yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
That's great advice, man. I'd love for you to maybe even offer some advice to those wanting to go into themselves in business, whatever it might be. What piece of advice would you give to them?
Don't try to do nothing. Just do it. Whether you fail, whether you do whatever you do, just do whatever you do. And don't be scared of failure, because failure is a lesson.
Yeah.
And within each lesson, you learn something, right? Within each failure. And I failed a lot, but I've won a lot more than I failed. But anytime if I just would have gave up, like most people think that you start something and you're supposed to get paid off quick.
Yeah.
Right? That's not what this is. Like, it took me 18 months to get into a store, just to sell into a store. Then it took me another 2 years to do this. So it's like you have to put the work in.
Right.
And if you're not willing to put the work in, I don't give a shit what you do. People say they're passionate about singing, but they get up every day and they drive to work. They go to the gym after work. They come home and they cook their food. They don't do anything.
Never sing.
Don't ever write a song. You're not a singer. You're not a songwriter. I talk to these young kids. They say they take pictures. They're photographers, right? I go to their Instagram page. There's no pictures. How the fuck am I supposed to gauge your eye if you're not taking pictures of shit and
Right.
posting about it?
Right.
So I got to see through your lens. You have to show me. I can't just be like, oh, I'm a photographer. Oh yeah, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Where's your work? They don't. Nobody wants to show you what they want. They just want you to pay them because they say they can do something. It's not how this shit works. Sometimes you got to do shit for free.
Yep.
To get to where you want to be. And that's what this generation is missing. There's a lot of talent in this younger generation. Tons of talent. But they don't want to pay the dues.
Yeah.
No one knows how to pay dues anymore. Everybody wants it right now.
Right.
So any of these entrepreneurs out there, pay your dues. Eat your crow. Pay in and pay forward.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes you have to jump in with somebody who's might be hot and support their movement. because it's not your time.
Right.
But your time can blossom in with someone else's time.
Right.
But learn how to be a good. See, for me, I'm a good cheerleader as also the star athlete.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Super important. You just said that.
You know what I'm saying? Be
Yeah.
a good cheerleader. Support brands. Support other brands. Support other businesses. There's not many stores in town that can say, I ain't bought nothing from them. But there's a lot of stores in town that can't say the same about me. I support everybody. If you got something I want, I'm going to go buy it. That's what's going to push this. There's no competition. I'm in competition with myself and my partner. That's it.
Yep.
I'm pushing him, he pushing me. Not worried about what nobody else is doing.
Yep.
That's a great mentality. That's a great
nuggets,
mindset.
guys.
Yeah, a great mindset, man. I think that's something that resonates with us.
Right.
You know, doing this podcasting for us, it's been a learning experience, and I've been really fortunate to understand and to meet people like yourself that have a lot of experiences. You know, and I know we talk about sneakers and all that good stuff, which is great because that's what gives us that little fuel. But there's also knowledge behind that, you know.
Right.
And I think a lot of us appreciate that, and I'm hoping that everyone that's listening to this, you know, can take away something from this too. So,
and don't be so scared of something that doesn't look quite right.
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 Be open.
Yeah.
Try to understand what it is, what's in front of you, instead of just, you know, making your mind up because something looks a certain way and it doesn't look the way you think it's supposed to look. I mean, I never in a million years thought I would have a partner that was. I met my partner at 18 years old, and I'm 40. You know, I'm 40. 44.
Right.
You know, I didn't see that for myself.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna meet this youngster there's a genius, and we just gonna go do some real dope shit together. I just ran into
Yeah.
and I saw myself.
Right.
I get to speak to myself.
the younger self, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get to speak to myself every single day.
And learn from him.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And learn from. It's funny, and you know, when to wrap this off, and this is a perfect way to wrap off, right? Like wrap this amazing 2-part episode of just giving nuggets and gems, because you know this type of education, this type of experience that you're sharing, is what's missing. It's what's been missing. Everything is clickbait, right? And we're here at Kickstory Podcast to just be authentic, and everyone that comes on this platform want them to show their utmost authenticity and leave with something, right?
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you for that nugget. That segment right there is super powerful, and I hope those that are inspiring. He said a couple of things. Every lesson's a blessing. Every lesson is a lesson.
For sure.
And you got to grow through what you go through, and it's okay to learn for free.
Here's the other thing. If you keep going through the same thing over and over again, right? What are you doing wrong? It's not your life. It's you.
Yeah. No, if it's happening over and over
again, it's not your life. It's you.
Yeah. Sir, that's believe me, man. Like when I see that, when I see that and I feel that, I'm like, man, like I wish they understood what I'm seeing, because they're not getting it, because they keep thinking, like you said, it's like their life. It's like, hold on, there's something more to that. But it takes some humbleness for them to realize that. It takes some, you know, sometimes the stubbornness is not going away, and they don't see that.
Right.
You know, and that's another thing. But yeah,
as far as being in business, I'm perfectly imperfect.
Right.
I'm perfectly imperfect, and you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you're going to go out into the world and make this world yourself,
100%. Yeah, love that.
you can't be
100%.
comfortable. My butt cheeks are always clenched. I don't give a fuck how much money I'm making or whatever. I am always, I'm clenched because I'm always on to the next thing.
I love that. Yeah, that's great, man.
That's dope.
And I just want to, you know, I mean, this is a great way to end it. Honestly, like, thank you again for spending some time with us and sharing your story.
I've been waiting on this interview. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
me too.
Thank you.
I'm glad it happened now.
Yeah.
The way it happened, because you guys allowed me to actually mature in my business and mature as a person, and in a lot of different ways. And so right now, this is the perfect time for us to have kicked off this whole interview.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing, you know, and God has his plan. He always has his way. So I always allow him to guide me. You know, I'm not very religious, but I'm very spiritual.
Same.
I hear you. Yeah. And no, congratulations to all your success. You know, you have a really beautiful shop here, some great people around you.
Right.
Your family's obviously in the mix too, supporting you. So you have a lot of support around you. And I'm glad that you're here in Phoenix. Now that we have something that's a little bit more personable to offer here. So that's great. And real quick, where can people find you? What's your website? All that good stuff.
All in one PHX is our Instagram handle. We also have a TikTok, same thing, all in one PHX.
Right.
And then if you want to shop with us online, it's allinOnePHX.com.
Awesome.
So you actually can shop with us online. Products, we're uploading, I think, 20 to 25 products a week right now.
Okay.
So
It's always fresh.
We're getting there. Eventually the whole store will be cataloged online.
Right.
So everything that's in the store you can buy online.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's going to take some time. We didn't do it on the way up, so now that we're established, we got to put the work in.
Cool. And then for the locals, what's the address here?
4501 North 7th Avenue. We're right in the heart of Melrose. Can't miss us. We're on the corner.
Cool.
Right on the corner next to Joe's Diner. If y'all know Joe's Diner, y'all know where I'm at.
Awesome, man.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a great spot too. There's a lot of cool vintage. There's a lot of history here with the vintage scene and
It
stuff
was a
like
service
that.
area. This was the old Phoenix. This was a service area where people bought their
okay.
cars, and this was a Black and Decker building. People came to get their Black and Deckers fixed here.
Oh,
so
wow.
so I know the history.
Historic.
I know the history of this whole area right here. This is
Very
a
cool.
up and coming area, and I'm happy to be a part of the revival of Melrose.
Very cool.
Right.
You bring something new too.
Listen, cool. Also cool. Where your name come from? KU. Where cool come from? Real life.
So my name is actually Kukuyan.
Kukunya.
Oh.
I was named after a Black Panther.
Yep.
Me and Asada Shakur
Right.
share the same name. Her name is Kukuya. My name is Kukuyan. So that's where that name is from.
Wow.
That's fly. And it's perfect because you're cool.
Yeah.
Cool dudes.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Very cool, man.
Thank you for allowing us to be in your safe haven, right? For allowing us to be here. This wasn't this, like you said, perfect timing, right? Perfect timing. Guys, thank y'all for tuning in. If you're in Phoenix, local, if you're visiting, stop by All in One, man. This is a great look. And it has, like I said, it's self-explanatory. All in one, whatever you want, anything you can think of when it comes to fashion, sneakers, or even if you want to just chop it up. Everybody here is real cool.
Yeah.
Everybody here is real cool. Yeah. And as you know, with us, Kickstory Podcast, you can find us on Instagram at Kickstory Podcast. You can literally just type in kickstorypodcast.com. You'll see all our social medias.
Yep. And perfectly said. You can find us on Instagram as well, TikTok, and all those great platforms.
Yes,
Make
sir.
sure you're following, subscribing on YouTube right now. So if you made it this far, hit that notification bell. Make sure you're following us, tell your friends and family. And of course, shop online with allinOnePHX.com. You can find all that great stuff there.
And if you can't come through this store, it's an experience.
Oh,
For sure.
absolutely. And you run it to me. That's an experience in itself.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you once again, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Enjoyed season 3.
Yeah.
We'll see you on season 4 pretty soon, all right, guys? So have a great one. Peace.
See you at the store.
Peace. Season 4, a couple months. Peace.
Thank you for watching this episode of Kickstory. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any episodes. And stay connected with us on Instagram and these podcast platforms listed here. We also want to hear from you. So make sure to comment below and give us your thoughts. Thanks again for your support, and we'll see you next time.